Good evening and welcome to Question Time. On our panel tonight, the Leader of the Opposition and former Education Secretary, the Right Honourable Josh Smith MP, the Daily Mail columnist and noted travel writer Cameron Jones, the head teacher of Park Road School, recently cited by Ofsted as one of the most improved schools in the country, Liam Wilson, and the Chief Executive of the Futurise Recruiting Agency, Matthew Wallace. Well, with our panellists raring to go, here's our first question. As the level of youth unemployment approaches 1 million, are Britain's youth unemployable? Matthew Wallace.
Well, I think more and more these days you're seeing students leave university with plenty of high-flying degrees and qualifications, but they're just lacking those basic people skills or just the simple ability to be able to communicate, which are now just standard requirements in the workplace.
Liam Wilson, how would you respond?
Well, I've got to completely disagree with Matthew Escott on that. I know that from personal experience, students in my school have great people skills and they know exactly what they're doing, really.
Josh Smith, do you agree with Liam Wilson?
I do, 100%. From my side as Education Secretary, I know that Britain's youth are, on the whole, equipped very well with people skills and teamwork and all the skills that they need because the quality of teaching in this country improved so greatly. I believe what Matthew is talking about is the minority, really, and I also believe that it's quite hard a thing to combat because these things have to start very young, even in the home perhaps. But if the government could give the schools some more funding, then there would perhaps be the opportunity to carry this through from the start to the end of the school career, perhaps in extracurricular activities.
Are you saying that this coalition government is neglecting this area?
Yes, I believe education as a whole.
Cameron Jones, how would you respond?
I would have to primarily disagree with Josh. In some ways I agree with what he's saying, that some students are well equipped. But regardless of this, so many of them have been going through university and higher education such as sixth form with all of these so-called Mickey Mouse courses, BTECs and NVQs, courses that are giving them skills that would help them with specialised jobs, but in the eyes of the employer are giving them nothing of the fundamental academic skills that they need. And if you just let me say one more thing, I'd like to completely disagree with what Josh has said about it being the fault of the coalition government that there's been a drop in youth employment. Quite frankly, the statistics show that youth unemployment was lowered to the highest, lowered the most during the twilight years of Gordon Brown.
Yes, but you forget that at the time of Gordon Brown's so-called twilight years, we were presiding over the worst international recession since the 1930s, Cameron.
Right, okay, I'll just stop you there. Thank you, Cameron Jones there. Liam Wilson, EMA, or the Education Maintenance Allowance, was scrapped by this coalition government. It did actually help out young people in this country to be able to get into sixth form and be able to study affordably. Do you feel it's a loss?
Yes, it's a great loss, really. There are students who have to now leave education and all they want to do is stay. They want to stay and get the A-levels that they want so they can go into university and get more education. But now, because of the cutting of EMA, they just can't.
Josh Smith, do you feel it was a good idea to cut EMA?
No, I really disagree with that. Obviously, it was my government that brought EMA in the first place. And I believe that we brought that in because we recognise that every child at the age of 16 has the right to choose what they want to go into, whether it be sixth form, apprenticeships, or just straight into work. But the option for sixth form has to be there, even if they cannot afford it, the government has to step in and allow them to be comfortable in making that choice.
Matthew Wallace, well, tonight we've heard a lot of problems related to this issue of youth unemployment, from the EMA to Mickey Mouse courses. What do you think the solution is?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I don't believe there is such a thing as a Mickey Mouse course. No matter what qualification or course you're taking, you will get the skills that you need to fuel your passion. If you can't get inspired in your particular course, then there's no way you can be able to get anything out of that course. The government should not be pushing or forcing students down the strictly academic route, as it's clearly not the route for everyone. I think instead of the government slagging off or putting down the NVQ and BTEC routes, there needs to be increased investment in these areas, as they can get the qualifications, experience, and just idea of vocational life from these areas.
Just as an addition to my point, I'd like to combat what you said about there being no such thing as Mickey Mouse courses. When some universities are offering a Harry Potter module, how can you possibly say that there are no courses which are leaving our youth without the skills?
I'm just going to have to leave there because I'm afraid we're run out of time there. Well, I'd like to thank our panellists for joining us tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.